Well, British Columbia is the latest province to put forward a pandemic-inspired program for paid sick leave. This is something that health experts have long said would help curb infection rates by allowing workers to stay home if they are unwell. Let's go to Laura McQuillan. She has details for us beginning in BC and its sick leave program, Laura.
Yeah, Michael, and as you mentioned, there have been calls for this for a year now. So BC now coming through with 3 days of fully paid sick leave to be paid by employers. They will be getting reimbursed by the BC government, but only to the tune of $200 per employee per day. So employers footing much of the bill for this. And with just 3 days, the idea is that a worker, if they need more than 3 days, would then go on to the federal Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit. That lasts a week. You can apply 4 times for up to 4 weeks, and it gives you $450 a week. So that's what BC is planning for here. As I mentioned, a year into the pandemic, and the Premier, John Horgan, facing some questions yesterday about whether this is too little, too late, why it took so long. He says it's been a year in the works, and he defended what he's come up with. Take a listen.
I'm confident that the 3 days that we have in the bill will bridge workers to get access to other programs that are available in Canada. And if it becomes inadequate by December, that'll be clear, and we'll be making amendments. Would I have preferred a better outcome? Absolutely. But I'm doing the best with what we've got in the time available.
You heard that mention there of December, because BC is planning to have a permanent program in place from January 1st. But no details on whether that would still be the 3 days, whether it would be more, and who would pay for it. But that permanent plan would make BC the first province to come up with a permanent plan during the pandemic, joining just Quebec and PEI, which also have permanent plans in place, Michael.
Okay, so that's British Columbia, but we also need to talk about Manitoba. Not so much sick leave there, but new leave for vaccinations. Tell us about that.
That's right. So they are planning to offer 3 hours of vaccination leave. So if you needed to travel or if you needed to line up at a clinic, you would be paid your regular pay from your employer for that time spent. And if it took longer, you would be able to take unpaid leave, but you wouldn't get paid any extra beyond those 3 hours. This brings Manitoba in line with what has been happening to its west. All the provinces there already have these 3 hours of vaccination leave in place, and we have seen a response to this from unions. They are welcoming this move. Here's what one of them told us.
As a step in the right direction, it provides a necessary avenue for people who have no paid sick time or are struggling to manage their schedules to know that they won't suffer a loss of income when they go and get vaccinated. But I think it's one of many steps needed.
Now, those other steps, what they are saying is the government needs to do better than what it came up with last week in a paid sick leave announcement. It announced that it would reimburse employers $600 for up to 5 days of paid leave. That's $600 for all 5 days for any employee who needs time off due to COVID-19, whether they are isolating, which generally requires more than 5 days of leave, or whether they're getting tested, whether they're going to get their shot, anything related to COVID-19. Those unions and others saying that the province can do better, but it is a step in that direction, and they're adding to it with this vaccination leave. Michael, we are seeing more progress now, a year into the pandemic, from the provinces, but again, they want the federal government to do more in the way of EI as well for the future.
Okay, Laura, thank you for that. Or Laura McQuillan.